it'll be so hard to do, but I'm gonna do it because I need to pay the rent. So you're gonna be versatile.
And I guess for me, I guess mine's a little different, and I'll tell my side. Like, I don't work. This is my job, and I'm fortunate. It's just I happen to be fortunate not to work, where my other half has enough income so that I'm able to do this full time. And as far as our production, what we do is, we're able to pay out a cost for producing books. We're able to pay royalties to authors, and we're able to do the printing and pay artists to color the books for us, and then pay the authors and the artists their money on time and on a schedule.
It's a lot of middleman.
It's a lot of, the middleman. I'm also a writer, so I'm actually working on my book as well as, like he said, I'm the producer, I'm the publisher, I'm the editor-in-chief.
You have to wear many hats.
Yeah, it's whatever's required. Like if Bella, is working that day and she can't work with me, then okay, I'll do your job until you get there. Vivian is our salesperson. Until she gets there, I'll do the sales. So it's whatever is required of us for the company. We need to color something? Sure, I'll color the cover. And then I don't say that we color the cover, but we all are artists as well. So, I love coloring a cover, and then putting it out there and seeing how people, appreciate it. Like, we color the cover, but then when it comes to selling the book, I just like the fact that people pick it up and go, wow, this is great. And then when Bella produces the magazine and does the layout, and someone's like, oh my God, this is awesome. I'm like, yeah. It's like our little silent thing, but we can't go, yeah, we just did all this work, oh my God. We had the Miami Book Fair, our first year, Miami Book Fair. I literally, Bella and I sat there in 2 weeks and produced 7 books for the book fair, because there was a limit of books that you had to have in order to get a certain booth. And we weren't at that limit, and I'm like, we could do this.
Oh yeah,
So,
keep that in mind whenever you go to events and go to cons.
There's a limit.
Always do your research.
You want to do your research is what you need. Because when we did it, we were like, we're going to the book fair. We have enough money. We can get our booth. And then they're like, yeah, so we need a sample of all your books. Whoa, hold on. Really? We can't just show up and sell stuff? So we had to produce these books, get them printed, send them the photo of the covers, which we did in one night, and that was just us, So like I said, fortunately it's different when you have the time and you have the resources to go out and print up enough magazines to bring to the book fair, or bring to our convention or whatever it is we're doing. And like they were saying, when they do a convention, it is $3,000 to go to a convention, and you're not thinking. You're not thinking like a booth is $700.
You don't stop there.
Basic.
There is so much more.
We have to eat.
Involved,
We have to eat there. There's electricity that we might need. Gas. We might have to have our stuff shipped there.
You might have to
If
buy
we
it
don't
out.
ship it, we have to. Yeah, you have
Hotels.
to bring it yourself.
Hotels.
Hotels if you don't live in the area. I mean, there's a lot of stuff to consider.
The biggest
Doing
cost
it.
I have for New York Comic Con is the hotel.
Yeah.
It's the biggest
just
cost.
getting
You want to stay in the island of Manhattan, and you do want to
Yeah,
stay in the
you
island
wanna
of
stay
Manhattan.
there.
We stayed in New Jersey.
Low West is like $200-300.
Yeah, $200-300.
The traffic, I can imagine.
Yeah, just getting to your own convention.
Yeah.
They're not gonna park the seat for you and go, oh, he has to get there, guys, let him
No,
go.
no.
You're gonna be in traffic with everyone else. When we went to MegaCon in Orlando,
Oh my
we
God.
were there, we parked the car, went back, parked, and just walked back.
Yeah,
It was
it's
just,
not even.
we
MegaCon?
were passing people.
MegaCon's a wonderful
Yeah.
show, but don't go on International Drive.
No.
Whatever.
Don't
Don't go on that road.
do it.
Don't do
That
it.
hellish road.
Don't do it. It's a trap, don't do it.
I was
One time I was coming out of there because I think last year they messed it up so bad. It was an NAACP tournament. There was a cheerleading thing.
Everything.
There was an Avon convention all at the same time.
Everything.
Do
So
your
we-
research, please, when you go to these things, because you'll go to a convention and it's at a hotel, but there's 5 other conventions
Yeah, they
and
won't
you
tell
have
you
no idea
what's
where
going
you're
on
going.
around it. They won't tell you.
They
No,
won't tell you that.
I was stuck in a car. We went to get dinner. We're starving. You get out of con, you're exhausted, you're starving, you don't do anything. And I had a very prominent Marvel artist in our back seat, and we're trying to get there. He's like, dude, I'm so hungry. Man, when are we gonna get there? I'm like, I just turned around like, dude, you saw the traffic, right? And after my partner, my publisher was like, dude, you know we want him to do a cover for us. I'm like, I couldn't shut up, man. We're stuck in traffic. And it just, and, you know, it's one of those things that you gotta plan. You're in a city sometimes that you don't know, like not, you know, now we don't, but I remember being lost at, you know, Heroes Con. You know, we decided we'll get a hotel by the airport. We'll just drive in. It'll be funny.
The best part, MegaCon, you're on International Drive. You can see the restaurant you want to go to.
You see it.
You get there a half hour later because traffic just stopped.
Yeah.
Then you get there and they're like, everyone's already there from the con. Hour and a half late.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're just like, all right, there's a McDonald's right here.
Yeah, you gotta get up early. You gotta. It's a lot of work.
But it's very
a
fun.
lot of work.
It's all worth it despite all this crap we're talking.
Yeah, I think you wanna make a lot of networking connections at these conventions. It is very important. I will probably be talking to these guys again, even though they don't know me. Like, I'm friending them on Facebook, and I'm gonna be talking to them. So, you know, whether or not they like us, we don't care. Like, hey, I'm gonna be talking to you. So you wanna make connections with people, and whether or not you agree with someone, whatever their opinion is, you know, you never know what you can like learn or what they can teach you that you don't know. You know, we happen, not like we're buddies or anything, but we happen to work at the Renaissance Festival, okay? And so we're at the Renaissance Festival, and I happen to see a guy, and I go, I swear to God, that's George Perez. No one else there is a geek like I am, comic books. So I'm like, that's George Perez. I'm telling everyone, like, who's George Perez? I'm like, you're an idiot. So I track him down.
Don't talk to me.
Yeah, I track him down. I go, I swear to God, George Perez is here. I saw him. I swear to God, I saw him. He's like, yeah, okay, whatever. So he sees him. He starts bawling like a little baby.
Which we got on YouTube.
And then, George Perez is like fanboying at the Renaissance Festival because it's like a role reversal.
Did you say that?
Oh,
He did. He cried. He cried in front of him. It was very bad.
George Perez, so you know, is like one of the biggest comic book artists.
It's like Stanley, George Perez.
So-
He lives in Sanford, Florida.
Yeah, he's here.
Nicest guy in the world.
nicest guy. So
You can meet George.
we go to MegaCon.
Hey, what's up? How you doing?
He wrote his
You guys, hey, what's up?
He wrote his book. He wrote his book, and it happened to be finished by the time MegaCon came up. So we went, saw George Perez at MegaCon. I'm like, go give him the book. Just give him a copy.
Take it, please.
So he goes over to George Perez and he's like, we're in line, we got a number, we came back, whatever. So he's like, I just want to give you a copy of my book. Here you go. So he's like, okay. And so he asked him to sign the book. I don't know why. He didn't do it. So George Perez signs his book, okay? And then he goes, well, you know, you need to sign one for me. So George Perez asked for his autograph, and everyone in line is like, who is that guy? Who is he? And so me and his dad are standing there, and I'm like, what? George Perez is like, he brings him back behind his table, he's hugging him, and he's like all chummy, and he's over there like moments, and everyone is like, who's the guy? And we're like sitting there. And so,
Edward, I'm a
yeah.
bigger fan of you.
Dude,
It's
I
hilarious.
promise. Like,
So you never know who you will meet,
Yes.
and what circumstances you'll meet them in,
I couldn't stop that.
and how it'll come back around. Because
Already
at the convention, everyone was wondering who he was, and we're like walking behind him like we're his slaves.
I got
And he was like using it to his
And when,
Wow.
if you get an opportunity like that, if you have an opportunity to meet George
Oh,
in
yeah.
your place, and it's not rude to do so,
No.
get a picture.
Yeah,
Yeah.
get a picture.
Hug the
I have a
crap
picture
out
from
of it.
Magic City Comic Con of Dan Slott, who writes Spider-Man, with my book in his hand.
Yeah,
It's so
And I love it.
Do
I
that.
have a picture, I have it on my wall.
yeah.
Dude, that's still.
Oh, and another
As I
thing,
sleep,
yeah.
I look at it.
If he said, no, if he said to
But it's
him
great
like,
publicity
hey,
on your Facebook
your book
page.
is wonderful. I love the concept. Tagline on the book.
Yeah.
You
George
know,
Perez
so
loves
and so said, put that on your book.
But don't try to orchestrate that kind of thing. 'cause
Yeah, you don't want to
it'll
orchestrate
look
it.
really
Yeah,
bad.
they hate that.
But,
you can also email them and tell them, hey, I met you at so and so. You said this about my book.
Is that
I'm
okay?
sending you a copy. I just want to know if I can use that, you know, and ask. And then
Ask
most of the time
That'd
they'll
be
say
nice,
yes.
'cause, yeah.
Because they're nice. They're nice people.
No,
They're
like
just
you guys
yeah.
were saying, they're people too.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
they were started off the same way their
I
kids
was
wanted
at
to do
a
it,
convention
you know?
in Knoxville, and it sucked. It was really bad. And he was there as a guest, and he was bored when we were bored. He comes over, we start talking. We're like trading recipes and stuff.
That's
It's
it.
like, yeah, it's like that's good banana nut bread, George Perez. You know, George Perez gave me a banana nut
I
bread.
can't even say the Justin
Yeah,
Perez.
yeah,
That's
I had
my
a
first name last.
conversation,
First and last name.
Oh my God, so
We're
George
starting to run out of time, though, so are there any
Oh, yeah.
more?
Oh, yeah, questions, more questions, guys? We have about 5 minutes.
Sorry.
I was just wondering, like, in general, what was your inspirations? I know he said Uncanny X-Men, you said Spider-Man, I was just wondering, in general, what was...
I'm a huge Amazing Spider-Man fan, and I tend to follow writers more so than I follow particular books. But writers I love, Peter David,
He is my favorite writer.
he's amazing. He does great character stuff. Paul Jenkins. Paul Jenkins, a lot of you may not have heard of him. He did a run on Spider-Man, Peter Parker Spider-Man, about 10 years ago. The best Spider-Man I've ever read. Him and Peter David, Paul Jenkins, Dan Slott. Those are the best Spider-Man writers, in my opinion, right next to Stan Lee. I love that stuff. Avengers, Roy Thomas. Roy Thomas, who did a lot of the books after Stan kind of laid off a little bit, is probably my absolute favorite writer for comics. He did the version of Avengers that I think we're leading to. Because it looks like in the movie you're going to see like Quicksilver, Scarlet Witch, and those guys. That's Roy Thomas stuff. And if we get to that stuff, it's going to be amazing. But yeah, mostly writers. Thank you. Anyone else?
Any other questions? Inspired me. Well, to be honest, like my father, mostly, most of my life, my father's been drawing. What inspired him a lot, though, was George Perez, Stan Lee, King Kirby, because he didn't really have the chance to take art classes in his little home, small city in the countryside. So he never really had a chance to do those awesome art classes. So a lot of it was self-taught. He had to look at comics. He had to see what comics, the different art styles, how to deal with an entire book of nothing but just drawing panels and art. They don't teach that in art school. They don't teach you, hey, you're going to have an entire book of 30-something pages. You're going to have to know how to handle drawing a character 50 times over and over and over.
Buildings.
Don't forget the background. No perspective.
Unless you go to
at the same
SCAD.
time. Unless you go to those awesome schools.
With the SCAD.
You know, and I just didn't have the chance to. So, same with him. I was influenced from him, who was influenced from a lot of the big names. You know, he loved George Perez. Like, loved George Perez.
He's afraid to talk to him, that's
Like
how
he
likes
loved
him.
him so much, like
A grown man.
he just
He will
can't
not
talk
talk
to
to
him.
him. He won't
can't.
even approach
He
George
sees
Perez.
him at a table right there. He's like
Yes.
signing books, and Dad's like, I can't do it. So then I'm like,
Walks
dude's
away.
bigger than me. He's like 6'15", and he's like, "Ugh," and I'm like, dude, just go talk. He's like, it's George Perez. What are you talking about?
Can't do it, can't do it.
No.
He's
You know?
probably, I think he's one of the best single living artists
Yes.
ever.
Oh, yeah, honestly.
Next to Aaron Peters.
And he's worked on like the biggest,
Oh, like
Biggest names.
everything.
you know, Justice
Yeah.
League versus Avengers, Marvel, even Marvel versus DC.
Right.
He loved it.
Every
He loved it
time
so
Crisis
much.
on
He's
Infinite
done
Earth.
both, you know?
You
Your
know.
dad is scared of the same, of doing what I did when I met Greg Capullo. You stood in line for 20 minutes and
I get them
I'm gonna get, we just sign my book, it's gonna be good, I've got this great thing in mind, I'm gonna
Ready,
Greg Capullo,
ready.
you inspired my art, and thank you very much. And I got up there and I'm like,
That's really cool.
You totally have to like swallow that.
It's just,
Burst into tears right there.
you know the feels.
If I ever met Peter David, I would mumble something about X Factor and walk away.
And just,
I
You know
got
what? He's very approachable. He's actually
He's very approachable. I saw him in New York Comic Con.
I'd probably cry.
And if you want to write,
You know.
he actually sells sample scripts. We're very cheap. I bought like a Young Justice script from him for like $6-7.
Really approachable. I talked to him about X Factor for like 5 minutes. He was like by his booth, and the line was already formed, but I just walked up to him and like, hey, bro. And I was like, I could tell like the handler guy was like, how this guy come over here? I'm like, what's up, bro?
I'm the one to borrow. That's
Yeah. Well,
Right.
I mean, my best moment was with Neil Adams. We were at a con in Chicago. We were there, and we had seen him enough times. So every time we saw him, and I would be, hey, Mr. Adams, what's going on? And he was just like, stop calling me Mr. Adams. He was a real cranky guy. And one of those, it was a bunch of us comic book artists who were just like standing around like talking, and he comes over, and he's like, you see this guy right here? You see this guy? This is a guy, one of the guys in the trenches. This is another guy like that. And John's not here now, but I was like, ah! Like, because I couldn't, you had his arm around me going, this is what I'm talking about. He's on every con, he's always working, he's always doing something. That's what you need to be doing. And my partner, Jose, almost burst into tears last SuperCon, because he was there. And Neil loved his work. He said that your work is amazing, blah, blah, blah. And then went on a rant just screaming at him about like, because he was like, is it okay to use reference? He's like, every artist uses reference. And I thought Jose was going to get his ass kicked by Neil Adams. That's all.
Oh my
I don't know if I should help him or videotape this.
Both is fine.
But, you know, he was almost in tears because he gave us such good praise and good work.
Yeah, just as long as it's the right time, the right place, do it. Here's an awkward story, and this will wrap us up, I guess. I used to sell comics on eBay a lot, not my own comics, like back issues, and I do pretty well. My mom, who was out of work, would go to the post office for me because I like to stay in house in like a cave because I don't like the outside. And so
Sunburn.
she comes back from the post office. She says, "The lady in back of me, her son does comics, and we thought you guys should get together and hang out." And she gives me a card with a name.
She made a
and number on
play
it.
date for you?
It was Greg Horn. It was the artist Greg Horn. I had his name, his address, and his phone number, which I then threw out. Because, you know, our moms are trying to get us together for a play date, and I'm like 46 years old.
I would
So,
make,
no,
I would
didn't-
deal with it.
I didn't call her.
Yeah, I would just go ahead and swallow.
I did not
Right.
call him.
Totally cool.
I totally sit there like,
I like Spider-Man.
It would have been great because his grandmother gave me the number, so he would have had to get together with me.
Exactly.
But I didn't do it. But anyway, guys,
feel like
thank
your
you
nana said
again.
so.
Guys, where are you guys going to be next after this con that these guys can find you?
I'm going to be at Orlando MegaCon.
You guys?
We're trying to get to MegaCon too.
MegaCon's awesome.
Yeah.
We will be,
Just
our
goes
book,
International Road.
our first issue will be on sale, the full first issue will be on sale at SuperCon, Florida SuperCon, the end of June, right?
Yep.
You going?
Yeah.
I might go.
Yeah, all of our books are
We'll be set up.
online.
And again, if you see us on the floor, we do have 5 copies of Runner Zero left. After that, the book's just not available anymore. Because we're not reprinting it. But number 1 will be out in June.
Find them online.
Yeah.
All of our books are online. They're
We're all on
Barnes and
Facebook.
Nobles, so.
I have flyers here if anybody wants anything.
And I think the guys are
check,
waiting.
check everything downstairs.
Thanks, guys.
Oh, wait, also, if you guys like fantasy, sci-fi, steampunk, and/or goth, check
We're
out Carpe
accepting
Nocturne.
submissions, and we're accepting submissions.
And there are free creepy doll nets downstairs. You should all get one.
Yeah, creepy doll mask.
You can go to your local playground.